Well, hello, and welcome to this special, very comfortable edition of The Difference Makers. We have a special guest today that is going to help you to get fit, fine, and fabulous, getting healthy for this year. So it's February 2022. How have those New Year's resolutions been working for you? How's that been going? If you need a jump start, a restart, or you really just want to get healthier, get more fit, feel better, this is the show for you. I'm your host, Jacqueline Grant, and this is The Difference Makers, where we bring those who are making a difference in the world with their gifts, talents, and abilities. And today we have a guest called the Lex of the gym. His name is Alex Knowles, but he's known as Lex in the fitness world. So I want to share his introduction with you. He was raised in New York, and Alex's introduction to fitness started at age 16. He started off using a friend's simple weight set, and he used a bar that was about 70 pounds in weight. And it was not long until in his mid-30s, he became inspired by having an access to a full gym in his New York condo. But it goes further than that. At age 47, Alex gradually went from being a regular guy with a moderate exercise routine who was eating his fair share of pizza, fried foods, all candies, cookies, all those good things, but he shifted to a 6-day-a-week gym rat workout. And he became known as Lex and that old guy in the gym. But Lex's transformation hasn't come without personal challenge. At age 51, he had a total hip replacement. He used his recovery time to begin the process of renewing, reviving, reviewing, and studying to eventually earn his personal trainer certification. His desire to help change lives through fitness took off during his rehabilitation process, and Lex has now become an NASM Certified Personal Trainer since 2014. But yet it gets even better. Today, at age 59, Lex's dream to help many people as possible, to be their best version of themselves is coming true. He is targeting people over 40 who want and need to feel better, who are feeling challenged about getting fit. He prides himself on pushing people past their self-imposed limits, and his clients have become motivated to become better versions of themselves as they get older. And he is now a card-holding, pro card bodybuilder since November of 2021. So I'd like to ask you to help me to bring to the virtual stage Mr. Alex Knowles, also known as Lex.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. I do appreciate that wonderful intro. I didn't know if you were talking about me once you got started, but I want to welcome you all and thank you for taking some time to get some insight into fitness and what it is I do.
Well, we just want to know so much. We have a short amount of time and lots to get in. We also have a lot of people. This has been a very interesting topic to a lot of people. They've been writing in, sending me questions. So we have a lot of questions to get to. So let's get started with the first one. What we always ask is, how are you making a difference in the world with your gifts and talents and abilities?
Well, I really got motivated by default. I mean, I became that guy at the gym who was always working out, always fit. And I always defied the odds when people didn't believe how old I was. I was 51 years old. I was going so hard, so seriously. And I think it was just basic by example. But the more and more I studied and read and understood this whole fitness game and how important it was for us to be healthy and fit, and the long-term effects of not being healthy and fit, I wanted to know more. I really wanted to help as many people as possible because people just came up to me with all kinds of questions. And this is before I got educated, and I really couldn't answer them the way I should have been able to, but with some education, some knowledge, talking to a whole lot of people who have done it before me, I put myself in a position to help some people as a result because I became educated on the importance of health and fitness and how to go about it the right way.
So tell us a little bit about what inspired you. We heard a little bit in your introduction, but what inspired you to actually keep going past just working out and getting fit, but actually becoming a certified trainer and a bodybuilder? What pushed you to go to that level?
Well, becoming a certified trainer was that thing. I saw myself just helping people directly. When I had my hip replacement back in summer of 2013, I took that time to kind of just study. Someone suggested to me that, hey, you might want to think about becoming a certified trainer. You have a following, people are asking you questions. So think about doing it on a higher level. And then when you have a certification, it says something to people. It kind of qualifies you to a certain extent, at least in the fitness game. So with that, I studied, I took the exam, I passed. But then I said I wanted to really do it, and I did it out of my garage. I went and got equipment and took advantage of a lot of sales and things of that nature, and trained people out of my garage part-time while I was in corporate America, before work hours, after work hours. And I just told people, well, this is what I was doing. I was that guy. I wanted to help. And then when you come across people who have all kinds of challenges, and then you use social media as a platform to get your name out there, and people see that what you're doing, and then they find out how old you are, then they decide to put some trust and faith in you. And so I wanted to really reward people and try to help them as much as I could.
Well, Alex, tell us a little bit about who you really enjoy working with in your business.
Well, I enjoy working with anybody, but my target are people who really, really want to transform, who really want to change. It's common to say, yes, I want to lose weight or I want to be fit, but I really get a kick out of people who really get it, who understand what that means. There's a level of commitment and consistency that comes with that. You have to have that mental attitude that you are going to win and that you deserve to win. And those are the people I really enjoy working with. Not to say I don't enjoy working with others, but those are the ones that really drive me, because when they start with me and they see some early victories, whether small or big, it really says something to people. And then I push even harder, not in a bad way, but in a motivating way, in an inspiring way, to get people to understand that this is something. Good health is something you deserve, you can have, but you have to continue to work at it.
Well, you talk about motivation. So I'm going to share a little bit of motivation about you by sharing one of your pictures. Is that okay?
Sure.
All righty. So while I pull that up, let me know women versus men. Obviously, we have different needs, different body types. How do you work with women versus men and the changes that we go through as we age?
Well, what I've come across is that women have become more accepting of help when it comes to transformation. Women go through things that guys have no challenge, no idea about, with weight gain and having babies, and their bodies just changing on them, in a matter of months. So when it comes to women, I really let them tell me what it is they want, what it is they're after. I get an idea of what their story is, and at that point, I let them know that there is a way out, because a lot of women, of course, lose their shape, lose their level of health and fitness after having babies, or having had some sort of thing go on with them that life has just kind of thrown them. So we try to put our heads together and come up with a solution as to what it is. I don't play doctor because I don't have the qualifications for that, but we can talk about nutrition. We'll talk about exercise and the things that you can do on a daily basis to get right, to turn yourself around. What has happened with men, being that I train virtually and I feel I can help everybody, I've come across a lot of issues when it comes to training men, only because sometimes it's ego. Sometimes it's just time, not making the time to say you really need help, or making the time for your fitness. All right. We have too many men, people in general, but I've come across more men who don't make their health a priority. So when that happens, I kind of take a step back, but I make myself available. This is where I use social media to let people know that despite your age or whatever your challenges are, there are ways around your current challenges, a way of fighting through what you're going through. Women have been a little bit more accepting. Men haven't come as far with that type of thing, especially when you think about the majority of the people I train are virtual. All right. I train a lot of people, and that kind of got kicked off when this pandemic kicked in 2 years ago. I was looking to build my base, and then the pandemic hit. Okay. And at that point, everybody got pushed home, gyms closed. My wife suggested, hey, you might want to think about doing something online. All right. And I was the guy who didn't want to be in front of the camera, but here I am. Okay. But now it's become 2 years later, and this is what I do. This is how I help people um, virtually. So now I'm able to reach a lot more people than I could in a standard gym locally here in South Carolina. Now I'm training people in Houston, in Florida, in New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia. So the stretch is a lot more far, and a lot wider than it could have been had I been training in a standalone gym.
Absolutely. Well, the world is virtual now, and it allows you to have a broader reach and a broader impact. So,
Mm-hmm.
as you said, you're working virtually and you're training people all around the country, all around the world. What are some of the things that are included in some of your services? I know you do the workouts, but what else is included? I know you do meal plans. Tell us what else is
I
included.
do meal plans. I hold transformation coaching or consultations, if you will. We talk as often as it takes to talk you through, because a lot of it is mindset. Okay,
Mhm.
I believe a lot of it has to do with your mindset and your current relationship with food, current relationship with exercise. We talk about the things that it takes to push through those tough times. So I provide those type of transformation coaching. I also kick off a little spin where for the first 22 days, you get to work with me as much as you want. You can schedule as many classes and as many sessions as you want in those first 22 days for $22, basically $1 a day. So um, that's a feeling out period for both of us. Is this going to be a good fit? Um, are you going to be able to make the sessions on a regular basis? Do you have questions? Let's get all those questions answered. I make myself accessible via these type of calls, regular phone calls, texting. Like I said, I just kind of lay it on the line, let the person know that I am there for them. It's important that they know that somebody's there for them, because the transformation doesn't happen. No one does it alone.
True.
I also, for those who don't necessarily want to train with me or want to go to a gym, I can put together workout packages for you, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, based on what your schedule is, and I can accommodate that um, via some apps that I use. So and then we have the same type of consultations. We have weekly weigh-ins. We have accountability check-ins on a regular basis. You have full access to me again, and we talk about a more extended type of program, because when you're doing it on your own, of course, I'm not there to oversee you and see what you're doing, but it's more of an extensive thing when we can go over go from month to month and see what your progress is. We have the weekly weigh-ins. So those type of things are all things that I can provide and help you get started and continue on this transformation journey you may have.
Wow. Well, speaking of questions that people usually have, we have a few questions from our audience that they sent in. They couldn't be here live with us, so they sent them in advance, and I am here representing the audience to share the
Okay.
questions with you. So here is the first one. Leslie says, COVID 50 pounds. So she's putting a play on tags, but she's talking about gaining weight during this COVID pandemic. I did nothing but work and eat at home for 2 years. How can I begin to muster desire to stop the habit of eating when I am not even hungry? There's lots of us out there with this illness. Yes, there are.
Yes. Well, we have to talk. Okay. We have to understand what's driving that eating. All right. Is it just the sedentary lifestyle of being home?
Mhm.
Um, did anything change? All right. I mean, we know COVID kind of moved everybody back to their homes. And I truly believe that was the trigger for a whole lot of people when it comes to putting on the weight, because you're not moving around nearly as much. So let's get to the root cause. We're not talking about just the nutrition or just the exercise. We talk root cause. What changed for you? And that takes a whole lot of sifting through, because sometimes you don't even realize the smallest thing that may have happened in your life within the pandemic, having to work at home, having the access to your refrigerator right down the hall, as opposed to waiting at the job when you have things to do and people pulling you in 10 different directions. It's a little different. All right. And people don't realize how much of a change that really can muster. So it really means talking through exactly what changed for you. And we can't underestimate the value of you moving from your office to your home and having the access to food that you wouldn't necessarily have the access to if you were at the office.
And sitting in nice comfy chairs all day in front of these boxes. We're in Zoom rooms and StreamYard rooms and so forth, and we're more sedentary. That has a big part to play as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, we have another question here from Talisha. Talisha says, my question would address, does your advice work with diabetics, or would there have to be an adjustment?
Oh no, yeah, I can definitely accommodate people who are diabetic. Of course, the ability to process sugar and things of that nature, and that comes through understanding the direct cause and effect of diabetes. So yes, I can accommodate that, and I do talk and work with people who are diabetic. So this is not new to me, but yes, it's no real different approach because we're talking about it starts with your nutrition and eating the right things. And what I like to do with people is kind of get an idea of how they're eating now, and then make them understand the value of even reading the labels on some of the foods that they're eating. And then we try to get a close. When I say close, I mean, if you're eating this as opposed to that, if you're a person who likes to have a lot of white bread, let's get you eating brown bread. Let's lessen the flour intake. Let's lessen some of the sugar intake on some of the foods that you're eating. If you're a person who likes to eat a lot of processed cake, candy, cookies, all right, let's pivot some of that to fruit. All right. And then we got to watch our portions. That's important. We really don't. I always cringe, and I'm not knocking anybody when people say, I eat good or I don't eat that bad. Because I think there's really an understanding, there's not really a true understanding of what people should be eating and the value when you look at the labels on the back of these food packages that you're buying and you don't understand how much sodium is in it, how much sugar is in it. All right. So we've been eating all along the way we've been eating, and all of a sudden we get that diagnosis that we're diabetic, or we have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, and then we don't know what to turn to. Unfortunately, and this is not everyone, but and anyone, but when we go to the doctor, we get that diagnosis. Very rarely does the doctor say to you, well, go see the nutritionist down the hall so they can put you on the meal plan. What they will do more often than not is put you on some medication and say, well, let's see what happens, and we'll see you in 3 months and see where you are. And unfortunately, we got people who never get off the medication. The answer is not in medication. The answer is pivoting your lifestyle, your nutrition, your exercise, the amount of rest. And as a small pocket of nutrition is your portion control. You can be eating healthy food, but how much of it are you eating? So it's really, so to answer the question, yes, I can address diabetics and people who have those type of maladies that are plaguing us, especially now in this space of COVID being what it is.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Bonnie says, I'm not sure if you maybe have another device going. We're hearing a bit of an echo.
No.
Okay. So Bonnie says she has a question regarding getting fit during early menopause. Any advice related to that?
I can't say I've had a lot of experience with that. I've come across that recently, and I'm going to take a step back when it comes to that because I don't know all the ins and out. There is some homework that I can do, and there are some answers out there, but rather than, because everybody's different when it comes to that particular subject. So there is no one particular answer, but I can definitely do some homework for you, and we can have that conversation and talk about how to get started, especially if you are a person who hasn't been exercising or we haven't wrapped your mind around nutritious eating. So it's not nearly as narrow a question as it sounds. There's a lot of things that go along with that, that change in life, that being that what it is. So it's not just the exercise that we did. There's some other things that are going on that need to change and need to be adjusted as you go with early menopause.
Great, thank you. And just know that Lex does allow for consultations as part of his service. So
Absolutely.
Maybe there's an opportunity there. But our next question is from Delana, and she says the topic that she's interested in learning about is weight loss and maintenance strategies. So you've touched a bit on that, but any further advice?
Well, of course, weight loss is all about calorie deficit. Okay, burning more than you consume. Okay, having a target, as we're talking weight loss and we're talking maintenance, either way, you should have a good idea or establish a baseline for which how many calories you're eating on a regular basis. There's a little bit of precision work. It's not as precise as it may sound, but you have to have an idea of how many calories you're taking in. And once you understand what you're taking in, know how much you have to burn during the day. It's not a light switch type of thing. I always tell people that it's going to take some time for your body to adjust to any kind of new program you're doing for weight loss. But once you get a rhythm and you get an understanding of how many calories you're eating during the day and how much you burn during your normal day, including your workouts and things of that nature, then it's very easy to get an idea of what it's going to take for you to lose weight, and also what it's going to take to maintain a certain weight range. And when it comes to maintenance, please do not get hung up on a particular number. If you're a person who says, okay, I want to weigh 150 pounds, I was 200, I want to get down to 150. If you're blessed and you get down to that 150, allow yourself some wiggle room. No one stays the same weight all the time. The body's constantly changing. Okay. So allow yourself a 3 to 5 pound range around that target number you may have. And then when your weight drifts too far past that 3 to 5 pound range you've given yourself, then it's time to tighten the screws and do some specific things and make some adjustments in your eating or in your workouts and your rest to get back to that range. But understand that you should not have a hard target number. Of course, when you start, you do. But when you get into that range and you've hit that number, continue to maintain, and you'll find out what it's going to take to maintain. Give yourself a range. I usually say 3 to 5 pounds, whether it's under or over, before you start panicking.
So I have a question.
Sure.
What is a good target to shoot for weight loss per week? Is it 1 pound, 3 pounds, 5 pounds? Obviously, it depends on where you're starting from. It depends on if you're a man or a woman. But on average, can you give us some guidance around that so that we have some realistic expectations?
Sure. 1 to 2 pounds a week is good. I feel like any progress in the right, and if with weight loss is good, but 1 to 2 pounds per week is ideal. Okay. So if you lose a little less than a pound, that's okay. You lose a little bit more on the pound, closer to 2, that's fine. Everybody's different. We lose weight in a different rate and time, because we're all just built differently and our metabolisms are all different. But 1 to 2 pounds is a good goal as you're getting started. I've had clients lose 4 pounds in the first week. Okay. I've had clients lose 0.5 pound over the first few weeks before they have a breakthrough. So it's about being patient and understanding that this is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's not the 100-yard dash that you see at the Olympics. It's going to take time. A lot of us, we don't count time when we're gaining the weight. Okay, it's when the light bulb goes on, all of a sudden we want to know how fast can we lose it. But ideally, 1 to 2 pounds a week is good. All right, to get started. All victories, no matter how small, or progress, no matter how small it may be, is a victory. All right.
Can you give us a quick case study of a victory one of your clients has had?
Sure. I mean, I have a client right now based in Texas. All right. And she started with me December 27th, right after Christmas, after she got that bad doctor's report, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, pre-diabetic. And she has worked hard. She adjusted eating. She has lost 18 pounds in the last 6 weeks up to this past Monday. Okay. And it's the commitment and the consistency of working out and eating the right things. She's pescatarian, I believe. So she doesn't eat a whole lot of any red meat or meat in general. Lots of vegetables, lots of fish in her case. Consistent exercise. We work out 3 days a week together. The other 2 days during the week, or 3 days, I should say, she walks. Okay. It means her mindset has just locked in on progress. And then we've been so blessed that ever since she started, she has not lost more. She has not had a weight loss of less than 2 pounds in a given, 1 pound, 1.5 pounds in a given week. So getting a victory early is what kind of keeps people engaged. Okay. So when I give you I try to give people specific things to do that will lend to weight loss. You lock in on some of those basic habits. Then things like that can happen. I mean, 18 pounds in 6 weeks is a lot. I'm not saying anybody else can't do it, but it just shows you that it can be done.
Well, your company is called Air 3. Tell us what Air 3 stands for. And I will share that I too am an Air 3
Okay.
member. And I worked out with Alex. And in my first week, I lost 5 pounds. So
Okay.
I'm letting you know that it's possible. Now, I'm not perfect and I have had my highs and lows with my schedule and so forth. But tell us, Alex, about your company and how someone can work with you.
Air 3. It came up. It's the moniker. The initials is for activate, inspire, and restore. Those are the three elements I believe are part of anybody's journey. Most folks don't need to know how to get started, how to activate, how to get started on their journey. You have people who are in the middle of their journey and need to stay inspired, need to be inspired. And you have other people who had weight loss journeys that ended well, but they have reverted back to some bad habits. Life has happened to them, and that's the restore part. And I believe I can help you with any and all of those elements, depending on what part of the journey that you are on. Um, been around since 2019, I believe. All right. And like I said, been training for 7.5 years, but I really believe that we are all fall somewhere on that spectrum where we have a story where we want to get activated. How do I get started? I need to be inspired because this is getting rough. I mean, I've done some good things, but now life is happening to me. I need some inspiration, I need some motivation, or we're trying to get back to where we were. We've had a wonderful story of weight loss and we're fit, but we kind of reverting back because things have happened, whether it be COVID, whether, oh, you know what, I just had a baby, so now I can't exercise, I'm not eating right. We need that restoration. So we're here for you. I try to make myself available. You know, I really stick close to my phone. I tell people you want to get me right away. Once I give you my number, text me, get me, let's talk right away. Let's get some answers. Let's get started. All right, that is the key. Getting started. On the outside looking in, it's rough. You can't see yourself doing it. But once we have a consultation, I give you some simple things to do as far as pivoting some of the habits. And I truly believe your getting fit is based on some basic habits that you need to establish at the beginning. Once you've established those habits and we start doing them day in and day out, where they become part of your normal lifestyle, and you pretty much treat them like breathing, then you can see progress. Is it easy? No. But can it be done? Absolutely.
Wow, that's great, Alex. Thank you so very much. And I'm sure many people will take advantage of this very, very special difference maker offer where you get 22 days to work out with Alex as many times as you want virtually, morning, noon, and night. And all for $22, $1 a day. And it starts 2/22/22. What better time to start? This is the second go around of probably what you might have started in January of this year. And if it's not quite what you want it to be or what you need it to be, this is, what was the first letter of your company name?
A for activate.
Let's activate. Let's do it again. 2/22/22. You can get 22 days with Alex for $22. And the only way you can get that is by sending an email to support@the-management-academy.com. And when you send your request to get in contact with Alex for this special offer, you'll be sent not only the link to be able to pay your $22, but you'll also get a bonus tip sheet. It's a recipe for health and fitness transformation tip sheet by Alex with his tips for success, for transformation. And I will even throw in an extra bonus where I will give you a launching your LinkedIn Live tip sheet. If you have had a dream, a vision to share your gifts, your talents, your abilities with the world and be able to have a LinkedIn Live show, I will give you a tip sheet on how to do that as well. So again, here is the offer to have 22 days with Alex for only $22, and it starts 2/22/22, easy to remember. And
yes,
you can get that at support@the-management-academy.com. So I want to thank you so much, Alex, for being here with us, inspiring us, activating us, and letting us be able to really get fit, fine, and fabulous for 2022. So thank you so much for being
thank
here.
you.
And we really appreciate you. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.